Hi guys, welcome to Car Shoot channel. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about a 2007, the 8th generation Honda Civic FD. Okay, let's just go through a little bit about the exterior of the car. This is the Asia model, so you don't see this model in the United States. Well, the outlook is really sporty, and then here you goes for the rear lights. Well, it looks a little bit like the Skyline. You know, it has a 4 round lights here. You know, right? Okay, I own this car since new. I bought it in 2007 and everything is in original condition. So let's just have a look of this car. How does it look like after 13 years? So here's a little bit scratches here, and then the rubbers here already spoiled. As you can see, it is very expensive, so I didn't replace it. So here's a little bit scratches. Well, the paint is gone. It's 1.8 IV Tech Honda Civic. Alright, okay, the paint is gone a little bit, but overall it is still good. I mean, overall condition of this car is still good. Alright, right now the tire is running with a Goodyear Kevlar Assurance Dura Plus, and it's 195, 65 and 15. Right. Okay, now you have finished see the exterior. Let's just take a look a little bit of the interior of the car. So it's basically stock, and I've just changed a Type R. So after 13 years, this is actually my daily drive car. So it has clocked 184,731 kilometers so far in 13 years, which is very reasonable, and it is slightly lower than average. So if you are buying a used Honda Civic, never believe a car that has too less or too low mileage, because it is simply impossible. So I have replaced it over the time, because this car is made in 2006 and it doesn't come with a USB port. So I replaced this, tuned in charger. Here's a box, and this is for the water, for the drinks, the box. So when I bought this car, I changed it to a full leather seat, and it's genuine leather. So you see the condition is still very good, after 13 years. And the dashboard is still good. Everything still looks good. Let's just look at the back. Alright, here's the back of the car. Because I don't pick up people that often, so the seat here looks like brand new, and the leg room is pretty big. Yep, overall condition is still good. Right, let's just take a look at the engine bay. See, the plastic is still here since new. So let's just take a little bit look at the engine bay, and then we will go through a little bit. Okay, right now this is the engine for 8th generation Honda Civic FD. Is running with a R18 1.8 liter natural aspirated engine. So let's just talk a little bit about the problem of this car. during the 13 years of owning. So it is my daily drive. So the first problem that I encounter is at about the 6 years of owning this car, which is the aircon fan. The aircon fan stopped running at the 6 years, so I have replaced it. And then the second thing of this car is the power steering pump, which is hidden at the back. I hope you can see it from the camera here. So the power steering pump is spoiled at about the 10 years. Here you can check the power steering fluid. So other than that, if you are buying a used Honda Civic, you will need to remove all this plastic so that you can see whether this car has gone into any major accidents before. But another thing you can see is the lights here. I hope the camera can see it. See, the original lights, it will printed with Honda, because this car everything is in original, so you can see. So another thing you need to see is the engine mounting here, which is known as the top motor mount. I replaced this thing about 5 years ago, and then now seems like it is going to spoil again. Here it should has a little bit space here in between this and this. I hope you can see it, right? So if you are buying a used Honda Civic FD and then you see this is very close like this, which means this motor mount is going it needs to be replaced. Then another thing you should see is the another engine mounting here, which is obviously already cracked. I've never replaced that before, so I think it is quite worth to use for 13 years. Then another thing I've replaced is the radiator here. Alright, I hope you can see it. Yep, I have also replaced a new radiator and then a new aircon compressor. Yep, the alternator is still good for 13 years. It's still original alternator, and the brake pump is still original. Well, other than that, I have also replaced the top hose, lower hose, and all these small little holes for water here. And also I have replaced the thermostat housing here, which you can see it's slightly newer than the rest of the things here. And then, alright, the current problem I have again with this car is the power steering fluid is slightly leaking again, where I replaced it about 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. So I think it is quite reasonable for it to be. So as you can see, this hose here. Alright, that's all for the engine bay. Alright, I missed out one more thing that I changed 2 times is the starter of the car. So the first time I replaced the starter because of when I turned the ignition on, the car couldn't start. So I replaced it and then the problem solved. The second time the car couldn't start again. Then I replaced it. The problem didn't solve because it is not the starter problem and the mechanic lied to me, So if you cannot start your Honda Civic FD 8th generation, try to put your gear to N and then try to start it. Alright, if it is able to start with the gear position in N and it is not able to start with the gear position in P, that means there is a sensor here. That means the sensor is giving you the problem. So that's just a little experience of me driving a Honda Civic 8th generation FT.